Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. In this channel, you're going to be having solving of algorithm problems so that you can experience the walkthrough and see how the thought process is. So today we are going to be solving a 7Q kata on codewars, separate basic types. So let's read rapidly to try to understand it. Given a sequence of different types of values, that is numbers, strings, and booleans, you should return an object with a separate properties for each of types represented present in input. So basically, if we're given an array like this is the input, we should construct an object out of that array like this. That is, we have number is represented by 1 and 2. This is a number. We have a string, and this is a string. We have A and we have B, and we have a boolean which is false. So we're going to loop over this array and deduct the different types that are present in the array. Now there's a small clause here that we need to be very careful of, which is if type is not present in input, no corresponding properties are expected. That means if there wasn't any boolean here in the input, we shouldn't be having like a boolean here with an empty array. There shouldn't just be this line. So the first thing we are going to do, we know that we have to loop through this array. So I'll loop using the for of loop, which works like this. We are going to test it using the node console so that you can see the for loop I'm going to use. If we have a test array like this, it's made up of odd numbers. Now if I say for let I of so I is a looping array. If I console.log I, we'll have to get the result. So we're going to use the for of loop. So for let I of our input so we know that I is our looping array inside here. Now we have to collect the type, because when we loop this array, we'll first learn at A. Now there is a function to collect the type in JavaScript which is called type of. So let's come back to, we have our array which is like this. Sorry, if I say type of array, it's an object because arrays are objects in JavaScript. Now let's look for a more simple variable like A, it's equal to 5. If I say type of A, we get a number because this is a number. So we're going to collect the type here, like I'll create a variable that gets the type. It's gonna be type of I, because as we're looping through this array, we'll be getting each number and getting the type. That's the first step. And then I'm going to check if the type is inside this object, which means I need to construct the object before. So let's just have our object to be empty for now. So I'm going to check if the type that I just got from looping this array and landing on the first value, if the type is already present here. And how do we do that? Let's go again to the node console to see how we check that. So if I have a test object like this, made up of A is 5, and we have a B which is 55. What do we have? If we want to check, so here in object we have two keys. We have key A and key B, and there's a value 5 and there's a value 55. So if we want to check if this object has a a property called a, we're going to see is there an a in the object. We get a true because a exists. If I check another if I check for b, we get a true. If I check for c, we get a false because there is no c. So we'll use that here. So we've checked. So we're going to check if the type that we just collected is inside our object. Yeah, or let's be if it's not inside that, if it returns false. That's a simpler way to do that. I'm just very literal so that you can understand. So if we check the type in the object and it returns false, it means the type is not there. It means it's absent, which means we need to insert the first value. So when we're looping for the first time, we're going to land on a, this a here, and then we collect the type of a. It's gonna be a string. This is a string, and then we're going to check if the type is inside this object, which is empty in the beginning. It's going to return false. When it returns false, it means we need to insert string and a. So we're going to insert inside this type. We're going to insert we're going to insert in an array. We're going to insert I, because for the first time we're going to have a, which is going to be alone. Okay, now if it was already there, like for the second case for b, when it is going to arrive b, we'll check that b it's already present, so you have to keep adding. What are we going to do now? Before that, I want to, so what are we going to do? I'm going to push it. Actually, get type dot push the I. If it's already there, I just need to keep adding on the array. At the end, we can console log the object to see what we have. So I think we're getting the answer. We were given this, and for string, we see we have two strings, we have two numbers, and we have one boolean. All right, now that's it. This is a second example. We have one string and two numbers. So this is what we have, one string and two numbers. So I think the algorithm is great. So we are having a red because we were just console logging, so we just need to let's return our object. And let's run. So we pass all the tests. So let's get through the algorithm one more time. So we have the for loop that runs through the input array, and then we have a variable that collects the type, and it checks if that type was already inside the object. If it is false, we can say we can simplify this. I'll remove this false here and say if, with this exclamation sign, if it is not present. Let's run again. You're gonna see, oh my god. All right, okay. Let's just leave it like that. For beginners, that's better. What I was trying to do is I could just put like this. I forgot to put in parentheses like this. It works perfectly. That's it. So Let's go back to how it was. So if we verify the object and it is not present, it means we are just inserting for the first time, so we insert. If it returns true, it means it was already there, so we just push and then we return our final object. So let's execute the final submit, and so that we can look at the solutions of other developers. That's what is cool about codewars. So we can see here he used reduce and a little bit some more complex things, but basically it's the same thing. Reduce is a function to loop through over the array. As we use the for loop, we can use reduce, and he takes the types and the values, and the type is gonna be the variable that is gonna have the type, the type of the array of the values inside. And then if it's present, this is we call this a ternary operator. It works like the if condition we had in our code to check if the type was present. If it's already present, then we have to just push. This is the pushing means we just we use to call it a spread operator. You can look that on Google. So we are going to display all the elements that were already present here plus the new value. If not, then this is the first time we just insert the value. It's just the same thing we did, just a little bit advanced. At the end of the day, if there was no type, that's if nothing was given in this array in the beginning, we'll just insert we'll just return an empty object. This is a very intelligent solution, but not too beginner friendly, I can say. So everything else is about the same logic, so we were as simple as possible. You can go through to learn how other developers approach the problem. That's why codewars is very good. So you can comment in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and we're going to be solving other algorithms in the future. See you for another video.